According to Zoom, we're live. Now, let's see. Are we live on YouTube yet? There we go. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to the Morning Mojo Energy Read and Coffee Chat. Today is January 1st, 2025. Happy New Year to anyone who may see this. Now, this is going to be a really quick one because at 1 p.m., I will be conducting a private screening of the movie Celestine Prophecy. And if you are interested in joining me for that, please do either reach out via email or private message very quickly, because I can get you the Zoom link so that you could join us live. Now, unfortunately, there's not been a lot of takers of that, and I think that's my fault because I started putting that invitation out just a little too short notice. So I've only had one being who has intimated interest. So if you do see this, or if you join me, if you're here now, although I see one viewer, but I don't know if that's me or not. Ooh, Lease of the Shadows came out. Ooh, card number 44. Now that's very interesting. It looks like another one actually came out because it looked like something flipped over here. Let's see. It flipped over but hid. What's that about? Let's see. Let me see really quick what we got going on here. So I hope you had a lovely New Year's Eve if you partake in celebratory. Uh, nope, I guess my eyes deceived me there. I'll be honest with you, long, long, long time ago, even when I was quite young, I didn't care for the idea of going out and celebrating somewhere else and then trying to drive home. It was such a, I don't know, it felt like such an unsafe thing to do. So we always, and of course, I had a young child at home, so we always had, if we wanted to have a gathering, we had a gathering, and I would collect the car keys, and we would just have an all night thing, and everybody would kind of find a spot, pop a spot on the floor, and stay, so that we were all very safe. Oh, the cloak of Christ. Well, isn't that interesting? I really do feel like this is going to be the year where the Christed energy makes itself known so much more in a more expansive um, way. Oh, and how interesting. Okay, yesterday we had a bunch of 44s and a bunch of fours. This is card number 4, and this one is card number 44. So for me, what this is saying here, being that we've had 2 days of this, for me, this is telling me that that is the case, because with the fours, four being foundations, the four corners of the earth, the four original, there are folks who have received internal guidance explaining that there were actually supposed to be four wise men, not just three. So there's a lot of data, really, that I feel like is rising and coming to the surface. Also, it was made known to me back in 20, 2015, 2015, 2016 when I first, well, actually, it was late 2014 when I started learning about energy and, really started the journey on the spiritual, more towards the spiritual, esoteric uh, leanings of things as I was learning Reiki, that I came to find that 4444, actually, according to another channeler, is the number of the archangels, which is very interesting to me as well. So, okay. She says as she looks at the clock, and it's 12:12 by my computer. So, uh, interesting that. Um, wow, because for me, that's, numerologically, 12:12 is a six. And that's all about love, harmony, balance, right? And so, isn't that quite interesting? Um, the shaman, the elemental alchemy deck wanted to come out. Ooh, water, spring, sun. Oh, Quinn Johnson just sent me a private message. Quinn, if you're there, my love, and you're available, would love to have you join me. Let me see if I can tell him real quick that I'm live. I bet he doesn't even realize. Live now. Come hang out and join me at 1 p.m. Exclamation point. Um, how awesome. Thank you, Quinn. Sent me a lovely message of Happy New Year. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's get on with it, shall we? Who wants to go first? The water, spring, sun wants to go first. This is, as I said, the Alchemy Elementals deck by Shaman Direct, um, which was inspired by a new friend, my housemate's boyfriend. He owns this deck, and I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta have that deck. So it was my birthday present to myself. Let's see. Water, spring, sun. Oh my word, y'all. This is card number 30, which is a three numerologically, the Trinity. However, it is located on page 44. So we have 44 for the one card, we have four for the Cloak of Christ, and we have this card being listed on page 44. I'm sorry, but for me, that is I can't escape that. I feel as though that is exactly what that actually happened like that to let me know that I am on the right track with that feeling. This will be the year. Even if it's not for everyone else, it will be for me very specifically. I just feel that with all of me. This will be the year where the Christ consciousness, the energy of the Christ consciousness arises in a very large way. And I will tell you too that my observation of those that we would normally maybe in some corners refer to as asleep, um, are really not as asleep as you might actually think. And it feels to me from all of my observations of being around folks that are not, really delving into the esoterics of it all, it doesn't matter. Their consciousness is expanding as well. And it's such a really beautiful thing to see. Okay, so um, a lot of channelers have claimed that what is coming from the sun are diamond codes. that we are, that our physicality, our multidimensional fields, our electromagnetic fields, we are receiving codes from the sun, and there are those who say that our physicality is also upgrading, and that these are referred to as diamond codes. And boy, oh boy, that sort of looks like it there, doesn't it? This card says, "You are not the person you once were." Oh, that is true. It's so, so true. You have gone through a deep and profound metamorphosis and have emerged from the unseen realms as a grander, more refined, more unique, and more authentic version of yourself. Don't get me wrong, you're still you, just a bigger, brighter, more magnificent you. And I would concur. Like I said, I my own observation has been that there are those whom I might have termed earlier as normies or unawakened or sleeping still, or, just all manner of things that we have in the truther slash spiritual community referred to folks, right? I no longer feel that way. And it says here, will you notice? No, it says, will anyone notice? You wonder. Actually, I don't wonder that anymore for myself. My dear, your radiance is unmistakable. Not only are people around you noticing your brilliance, but they are being transformed by it. Your spiritual upgrade and the light beaming from your heart are creating new feelings and inspiring new ideas in everyone you meet. I know that's true. That's a true statement. I don't have to worry about that kind of thing anymore. I've had enough experiences now in public with complete strangers, not to mention my own family and friends in different gatherings, to know that that is a true statement. And I don't even have to really open my mouth. We carry all of what we know around with us in our electromagnetic fields, and it does enter into the fields of those around us. Rejoice in your rebirth and the impact it is having on the collective. This is what lit leadership is all about. Wow. This is so awesome, this reading this morning for the new year. And well, just in general, because I started this before I even pulled any cards, really, to say that I feel as though this is the year where, at least for me personally, because the last 2 full years I've kind of been here, but not here. And if you've been following me either on Sassy Seer Sheila or here on New Light Streaming Love, then you know I haven't really been on the channel. And I haven't really been here either. I don't know how to explain that in any other way except to say, no, I just really haven't. So that's quite interesting to me. I hope Quinn, if you're here, please let me know. I really appreciate your message, my dear, and I hope that you will be able to join us for the movie at 1 p.m. Okay, so the fairies wanted to come next, Lease of the Shadows, and interestingly enough, right before I came here, in regards to this card, I saw on Facebook someone new in my field that I've not seen before was actually speaking on that exact thing, how we are receiving codes that are upgrading I've actually saw it in like 2 or 3 different things. One of them was a meme talking about what if the 144,000 actually is referring to the upgrade of the human genome, the DNA, which at this point only supposedly has 23,000 um, something or another to it. And it said, what if these upgrades are actually what if the 144,000 refers to that? And it kind of piqued something in me. So I hold everything open as a possibility, and especially because of the way I've noticed that the universe speaks to me. I can't unsee the fact that I had, several things in my field this morning before coming here. Okay, so this card, Lease of the Shadows, card number 44. Again, this is what is considered a master number. The key words for this card are healing the shadows, addictions, bondage, self-esteem. And we had a surrender card about surrendering low self-esteem just last week too. So that's kind of interesting as well. And again, another observation. First thing up in my feed this morning was and I guess it was an advertisement from Mark Passio has made an announcement this morning that he will be conducting some kind of a large shadow work seminar. So isn't that interesting that this says healing the shadows, which is one of the reasons I feel like for the rise of the Christ consciousness, more beings it is becoming more acceptable or easy or palatable, one might call it, to recognize and acknowledge that every being on this planet has been traumatized. And trauma is not at all what we might think. It doesn't originally happen necessarily from something horrific, at least not in my experience. I have seen where trauma starts out as a small fissure or a small crack. It was really quite innocent in its happening at first, and it's something that just over time and cumulatively, that crack, that fissure becomes wider, and a lot of what we experience as children, which is so confusing to us, and quite frankly, even to the parents, if you ask me. So Lise works hard. She has a very tough job to do, and she puts a great deal of tough love into it. She prowls the night streets looking for those in need of her help and finds far too many of them. Lise is the patron fairy of social workers, therapists, healers, and all others who try to help alcoholics and drug addicts and other souls caught in the darkness of their own inner shadows, or who are abused by those who should have protected them. However, she doesn't sit in an office somewhere. She is out there on the dark and dangerous streets, lending a healing hand here, soothing an anguished brow there, whispering comfort and encouragement into a lonely ear, and bringing a touch of hopeful rainbow light into the deepest shadows, including those in darkened human hearts. Like the Lamb, much of her work flows through the hearts and then the hands and words of humans who make themselves available for such work. Humans like my friends, Lisa Flamino Rush and Crystal Hemphill. Both of these beings have taught me a lot about facing and embracing the darkness within, because it is also a part of me, a part that shouldn't be shunned, but rather embraced and understood for exactly what it is. She inspires souls to connect with one another in a healing way. Her specialty is help for the hopeless, for the ones that most everyone else, including themselves, has given up on. The street people, the lost children of our society, those who have fallen through the cracks and rips in our feeble social safety nets. Like the lamb, she often works through human hands, and she may call upon you for help in her work. Out of curiosity, I asked Lise why she chose to have her card in this particular group of fairies instead of the one before, where I might have expected her to be more at home. She shrugged, gave me a cheeky grin, and said, "These guys know where to find the best nectar and nuts. Even though she has wings, our Lise is very down to earth and practical." Ultimately, Lise is trying to help people develop true self respect and self esteem. But she has to start much farther down the scale of idealism than that. She tries to inspire practical help for those who need it most. She is the inspiration for the first wobbly steps taken by a damaged soul toward healing. Her presence in a reading indicates that something that had seemed lost and fixed in that loss is now open to healing. What did I say before I started pulling cards? This is the year. And I feel like it is the year for the facing and embracing for all of us. I'm not sitting here saying that I've embraced all my. No, 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 no. This is not ever a one and done thing. Things come up all the time for me, as well as I'm sure for everyone else. Um, Someone is ready to begin with help, the climbing out of the inner mire. There is hope here and a need for loving kindness tempered by practicality. If you call upon Lise for assistance in helping another, she will always give it, often by encouraging that person to be receptive and others to also be helpful. She always has time to support those who have time for others. Well, that's quite lovely on so many levels. And I'll just say it right here, right now. That is part of what I know that I am. Actually, Crystal cemented it for me. I am what is called a spiritual catalyst. So if you feel drawn to me for any reason and I can assist you with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I don't charge for anything that I do. There's no, business here. I'm not trying to make money. That's not what this is about for me. This is if people are drawn to me, there's generally something for us both there. Um, so don't hesitate. If you feel drawn for some reason and you feel as though I may be able to assist you in some sort of way, don't hesitate. Reach out. Consciousconversationcentral@gmail.com is how you would reach me. And I'm ever so happy to assist because trust me, there have been those that have been there for me. And for me, that's the way to, reciprocate. Okay, so finally, we have the cloak of Christ. Uh, in the school of humanity, when you become intimate with God, you reside on the king's throne and teach the angels the nature of the divine. Rumi. My sacred brother, he who shares my heart and yours, beating as one in harmony with the great unending love, brings you the mantle of his protection. Do you imagine that there is any part of your life, of your body, of your soul that is outside the realm of his divine love and protection? Offer all to him, leave nothing cast aside. He and I together receive you absolutely without condition. I finally understand what that means for myself. And I cannot sit here and say that I'm really good at that yet, but I'm on my way to, I still have an awful lot of programming and conditioning within me. So I know that that is not and necessarily an easy mark there. The compassion born out of our own struggles tempers the karmic weight of divine justice. He has, we, no, sorry, we have been through the same journey you are taking now, sweet divine soul. In oneness with the divine heart, we know of your efforts and of your struggles. So, what is bestowed upon you now is the restoration of forgiveness, of kindness, of mercy. My sacred brother speaks to you. He shall receive your darkness and your light. The angel of your. Yay! I'm so glad you found me, sweetheart. I saw your private message pop up, and that's why I went over and you'll see it if you go back and look at the live, because I stopped what I was doing immediately and let you know. And I want to tell you right now, Quinn, that I am holding immediately after this a screening of Celestine Prophecy because I want to see if I can inspire folks to join me for a book club of reading all of these books. There are several of them. And so that's what that's about. And I probably will have to do it again because I only have one other taker so far. So if you're available, if you know, it's about an hour and a half movie, I think. And so if you're available after this, I'm starting it at, oh, you better bet I'd find you. Oh, you're so sweet, Quinn. If you're available for the next couple of hours and you want to join me, send me a private message that yes, you do, and I will send you the link to the Zoom because we're going to do it live in Zoom. And so, just let me know. Okay, so back to the card here. So, I'm going to back that up. He shall receive your darkness and your light, the angel of your heart and the demon of your fear. Nothing is greater than my brother's love for you. Nothing is greater than my holy passion for you. Take refuge under the cloak of Christ, the mantle of my sacred brother, and know that you are held in our loving sanctuary. You are tired, beloved. Your soul has been ravaged inside and out, and you are succumbing to struggle that is not karmic or necessary, but a symptom of fatigue and weariness of heart, mind, body, and soul. And for me, I want to add there, especially over these past 2 years where I haven't been real present on any of the channels, and honestly, not even real present here, period. Um, yes, there is from one perspective, a method of distraction of one's focus and attention, and a manipulation of everything around us to, again, distract and persuade thought into darker places. Because if it is true, and I personally feel that it is, that we create our own realities, and we do so with our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. And if one is what it says here, succumbing to struggle that is not karmic or necessary, then the thoughts aren't in the best of places. I mean, that's what I've come to feel for myself. So I'm going to read that again. Your soul has been ravaged inside and out, and you are succumbing to struggle that is not karmic or necessary, but a symptom of fatigue and weariness of heart, mind, body, and soul. That which plagues you, whether something specific or a general nagging malaise or anxiety you cannot quite pin down, is not a power as powerful as you fear. We were just talking about that the other day here in regards to the they who, and I'll say the powers that were because I don't really feel like they're in charge anymore in a very real way. Only the power that we, by our belief, continue to hand them, right? And I don't think they're as powerful as they've made themselves out to be. You are being given a grace here and now that it may be overcome. Remember, your reactions are a symptom of your exhaustion and a sign that you need respite, sanctuary, restoration. They are not a sign that something must be done so much as a sign that something must be received, allowed, that something is healing made possible through divine protection. In this instance, protection is bestowed through the cloak of Christ. This cloak is a sacred container that places your body and soul within the loving energy of the Christ consciousness. Again, I cannot unsee that I started this by saying, before I pulled any cards, I started this by saying this was the year that the Christ consciousness was going to rise in a way that we've never seen before. I just, I love the fascinating way this stuff all comes together. Mm-mm-mm. This unconditionally loving energy is not limited to the being bearing its name, but is shared by Rumi and many other holy ones. And that's true. I will say to you that uh, actually, I've met a few. Let's just put it that way. I've met a few who carry that unconditional love within their field. It is typified by wholeness. There is nothing within you that would cause the Christ to turn away from you, not even those parts of you that may fill you with fear, shame, guilt, or regret. He and Rumi are sacred brothers, loving and supportive of each other, and they see your soul as one of their family, one of their own. You are so loved by them both, equally and without measure. Can you allow yourself to take refuge in this knowledge? To feel it, not only as an idea, nourishing as that is, but as a visceral reality where you complete the sacred honoring ritual and allow yourself to feel the peace and receive healing. Now, I read that this time because I felt called to. However, I do not read the sacred honoring rituals that are included with each one of these cards, only because I personally feel that one creates their own rituals. That's the best way forward. I've heard all manner of stories of how, folks have, done somebody else's ritual and ended up having some issues and whatnot. And if you feel called to have this ritual, I will be happy to send you a picture of it. Just reach out and let me know. It's card number 4, the Cloak of Christ. Just let me know, and I'm happy to send that to you. And my advice, unsolicited, although it is unsolicited, I will give you read it and incorporate some of it if you feel called to. But create your own rituals. That to me is the best way because they're tailored specifically to you. You know what the words mean to you. You know what it means to you, not what someone else meant when they were creating it. And trust me when I tell you, that makes a big difference. So the knowledge of the Christ's unconditional love for you is a safe space, a place to fall into when you are struggling. It is a sacred container for your healing process, an energetic field that is stronger and more enduring than even the greatest fears or doubts. The purpose of this sacred container is to provide you with a feeling of being held, especially for those times when you are feeling that you cannot hold yourself. Sometimes we just need permission to break down, to really let go, to come apart and be dissembled so that we can break through, be lifted up, and come together in a new, more spiritually coherent and loving form to move forward. For you, this is essential. There is a person, place, or thing or belief that has come to be like a manacle around your wrist or an iron ball and leg chain, preventing you from moving forward with the grace you have earned spiritually. You are being empowered here to shed that. Don't hesitate. Let yourself be cloaked in the Christ energy and receive the spiritual assistance you deserve now. There is a reason for this. The unfolding of your life purpose is taking a turn for the better, and your energy is required to fuel that new life. This is particularly so if you have also drawn, which we haven't, I didn't draw any of those, or intuitively feel to read the message of that card. It was the passion for purpose, but I don't necessarily feel that. And complete its accompanying sacred honoring ritual. Just remember that whenever we are asked to release something, it is because the divine wishes to fill our hearts and hands with more. Do not hold on to scraps for fear that the feast will be denied to you. You know, that's a big thing right there because of the way we have all been convinced that things are, that there's lack and scarcity. Um, or at least I'll just keep it right here. I know for my own personal self that having been poor most of my life, and it's tough to let go of things because you just don't know when you're going to get the more, right? When you're going to get something else or have a replacement for it and whatever. But that right there is a very true statement. If one is being asked to release something or to walk away from something, it is only because if I don't let that go, then the new thing can't come in. There's no room for it. So I feel to pull one surrender card, and then I'm going to. Quinn said, "Well, I knew that card was going to relate to me. It normally always very shortly after you pull it, and I'm on here." Well, yes, honey, that's why I always say, if anybody's drawn here, there's usually a reason. There's something that I will say, or something that, and it may not stand out right then. It may be, ooh, okay. Surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis in quiet, meditative moments. Focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. And a second one actually came out. It actually came out first, but this one flipped over and wanted to be read first. Surrender to success. You are ready to experience abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities. Wow, I love that. And well, because I honestly feel with all of me that the universe will provide. And, read that however one likes. I'm either going to trust that or I'm not. And I'm trusting that. So I'm going to give myself a few. I'm going to end it here. I want to say again, and you have to hit me up pretty quickly because I'm going to start the movie at probably about 1:15, 1:30 at the latest. And so if you would like to join me for that, please do reach out either through private message on Facebook or if you know me personally through my texts. Uh, or send me an email, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com, and let me know that you would like to attend. If you want to attend, I'm not against doing this again because I did uh, give a kind of a short notice about this, and so I get it if folks are not available. Because I really do want to do this series of books in company with others. Lisa and I have been, it was Lisa's idea, and I'm so grateful to her for conducting this book study that we've had going on now for a couple of years. Actually, we've uh, made our way through one, two, three. I think we're on our fourth book, our fourth or fifth book now. We're doing the Kabbalion, but this is a secondary book club. And so if you belong to the first one and you want to join us for the second, again, conscious conversation central at gmail.com. And I'm playing the movie because, a lot of people are like, well, so what's it about? What do you want to do? And I actually have never read the book. I've only seen the movie. And I know that books are always better than movies. So, and there, like I said, there's a whole series of these books. I personally feel that James Redfield um, was communicating with source. I feel like almost all authors and entertainers and that sort of thing, um, well, not all, but most, are influenced by a higher, more expansive version of themselves. A lot of science fiction, I feel, is either memory or clair, is a clair involved there. Um, and this one in particular, I feel as though I feel almost as though his future self gave him this information because a lot of what I see, sense, and feel from the movie, I now see in my everyday. And so I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Thanks for being here, those of you that were here with me. If you like I said, if you would like to, catch this movie with me, hit me up. Until we meet again, I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you, because it really, truly is just a matter of perspective, really. And if you're not feeling very joyous in any particular moment, maybe that's a sign to step out of oneself and try to look from a different perspective, because there's always more than one way to see a thing, view a thing, understand a thing. Um, and that's it. So until we meet again, my friends, I hope that you will be well. Uh, and come join me for the movie. And if you can't today, let me know that you'd like to do another day. Be well.